All right, the RP show continues. And by the way, have you signed up yet for the Rod Squad newsletter? It's free. You can do so at rodpeterson.com. Just click on newsletter. It's brought to you by Suds Regina. A clean car runs better, right, Coach? Fuel your fleet's finesse with Suds Regina's unbeatable cleaning packages. They'll shine like new every time. Visit sudsregina.com. Merry Christmas, Coach DuBuc.
Merry Christmas, Rod. Thanks for having me on. Obviously, I appreciate it and hope I can give you some good information today.
Well, you always do. Before, just for a little fun, not that we're not going to have fun, but the Roddies, we're unveiling them today, the year-end awards. Coach of the Year, Player of the Year, Team of the Year, Media Person of the Year. Off the top of your head, who would you vote for? Team of the Year in North America.
Panthers.
Ha! Ding, I love it. I love it. Coach of the Year?
Paul Maurice.
You got to love those Florida Panthers, man. What else I say? Team of the Year, player, Coach of the Player of the Year?
Tua.
I should have prepped you for Tua. Okay, I should have prepped you for this. And Media Person of the Year? I'm not eligible. I'm ineligible. I think you're a media person now. Maybe you'd vote for yourself. Who's the Media Person of the Year?
Jim Barker.
He's not a media person anymore. We forced him right out of the media. He's now working for the Argos again. All right, Coach. Coming out of the weekend, where's your football focus? Tell me. There's so much to talk about. What's number one on your mind?
Well, so I'm getting ready for the Rate Bowl, which Trey's playing in on the 26th. So I'm going out on the 25th to Phoenix for his game against Minnesota. Then I come back on the 28th. I was coach of the week for the Miami Dolphins, so I'm going to go to the Dolphins game. They have a ceremony for us, and they donate $1,000 to our program. And then on the 1st, guns up, baby. The Red Raiders are going to be playing in the Orange Bowl. So I'm going to be pretty busy with football over the next week or so, but that's my itinerary, and it's pretty fun. I mean, you're a football guy. This is kind of the pinnacle. Your son's playing in a bowl game. Your alma mater's in the Orange Bowl, and I'm going to get to be on the field for the Dolphins, which is my team. So pretty good.
What a way to
I'm very fortunate.
Take out 2025. Well, the Orange Bowl is here, so that is pretty exciting. When are you guys traveling out to the Rate Bowl? When are you going?
We're going Christmas Day. We're going to leave Christmas Day, and then we can go spend some time with Trey on Christmas Day at the hotel, and then get up for the bowl game. They're playing it in the Diamondback Stadium, which is going to be pretty unique, and I'll get to see him play. And he's had a hell of a year. He finished second in the Mountain West, long snapper. So a lot of good stuff.
Oh, good. I love to hear it. Well, I'll tell you what. That's Chase Field you're talking about. Do yourself a favor. Go to Marley's Sports Bar and Restaurant, downtown Phoenix, blocks away from Chase Field. Dan Marley, you remember the great Phoenix Sun?
Yeah,
one of the best restaurants I've been at, Marley's in downtown Phoenix. Okay, well, I like to make the viewers happy, believe it or not, by asking you their questions. Coach Jeremy in Winnipeg writes in, he says, Coach DuBuc, who is your pick for national champion after seeing the first round done? I still feel OSU gets it done.
Guns up. Going with the Red Raiders.
Texas
They got
Tech.
a stifling defense. They run the ball. And I think they've spent their money well. They got a great defense.
Isn't it something that's what we're talking about right now? Who's most wisely spent their NIL money? Well, listen, this isn't expected this season Texas Tech's had, correct?
I think they've been building on this. You know, they got Cody Campbell, which is their financer. He's a billionaire, and I think, you know, their facilities now are phenomenal and probably top 5 in the country. You talked about the blue bloods in the NFL earlier, not making the playoffs. The Dolphins, the Giants, the Cowboys, and you know, quarterback struggles and all these things that if you're going to win championships, you better have the quarterback. And you and I talked about Rodgers. You know, the guy just wins, you know, and I love the coach. I love their coach. I think he's great. So, you know, you get to a point where, yeah, and he's a class guy too. And he does it the right way.
John in Winnipeg. We're huge in Winnipeg. I've never been able to understand that. You are Blue Bomber alum. John at Winnipeg would like to know, what's the story on your hat?
This is Lobos, New Mexico Lobos.
And that's your son's team.
What?
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I got a Wagner hat
Okay.
and I got a New Mexico hat.
Well, while and your other son plays at Wagner. So there you go. So with regards to the Dolphins, yeah, there you go. Trent and Trey, Wagner College. Since you're going to be on the field with them, maybe you need to be careful what you say. I don't know. But Joe Rose was on the radio this morning saying none of these quarterbacks they have are the next one. Like, where is this Miami Dolphins franchise going?
Golly, it's so frustrating as a Dolphin fan. I don't know. They got to hire a GM next, and then I think that the carousel will start. I don't think they can go through the draft. They have to go out, get an established guy, and they're gonna, Tua's gonna be dead money, but they got to trade Tua. They got to move on from Tua, and they have to find an established quarterback. But let's look at the two young guys, Drake May and the guy in Colorado or for Denver. I mean,
Bo Nix.
These are Bo Nix, two young guys that were come up through the draft. But I think coaching has a lot to do with it too. That those are solid coaches that were on the on the offensive side of the ball. And I'll go back to comparing it to Cody Fajardo. I mean, guy's a winner. Why wouldn't Edmonton do everything in their power to bring him back? Franchise quarterback. That's where it all starts. And if you don't have that, you're playing with fire in your job.
Tony in Cochrane writes in, he says, the NFL is crazy town. I picked 8 upsets this week and have 12 right so far. It has been a record for games going down to the last second. Matt, it's the most games in NFL history have been decided in the last minute. What in the NHL actually is going through the same thing. What is this because of the salary cap or rule changes or what?
I mean, just do the math. I mean, the more teams you get, the talent gets spread out, and parity sets in, and go down to half those teams. The talent level would be crazy, and it is just what it is. But college football is going through the same thing now. Kids that are Division II All-Americans are now getting recruited by the Group of Five, and the Group of Five best players are now going to the Power Four. It's just a revolving door, and it's unfortunately the NCAA did not follow the model of the NFL, because the NFL, we can all say, is the model CEO, whatever business you want to call it, in sports. And I saw something where Toronto's not drawing or going to have the lowest, attendance, which is still 18,000 people a game. But you got to win. That's the bottom line. You got to win. And if you don't win, people don't come. They find excuses to do other things.
Especially with the cost of tickets now. And it's funny, I love that you took that turn to hockey, because some Panthers fans, are they crowing that the Leafs are about to have their lowest attendance since that new rink opened, which, by the way, was in the late 90s. But the Panthers fans are laughing because everybody dumped on them. And I meant to look up this morning who's got a higher attendance this year, the Panthers or the Leafs. But they're just laughing. Some guy said on Twitter, move the Leafs to Houston. That's what they were saying about us. It's not a problem here, huh?
No. And again, I watched some of the Dolphins yesterday, and you saw a million empty seats in that stadium. I think the apathy, I think you always have your base, but look at Jeremy in Saskatchewan. He's been competitive the last 2 or 3 years. Everybody's complaining about the attendance. They win the cup. I guarantee you there'll be a spike in season ticket sales in Saskatchewan this year. And I don't think they'll be saying the same thing, but, fans are fickle and the money is tight. And, I hope the problem, Rod, and I'll just be honest with you, the kids today, they don't watch the games anymore. They watch the highlights. Even my own 2 sons, I'm like, sit down and watch the game with me. And then they're peering into their phone and whatever. It's hard to grab people's attention for long periods of time. And I think baseball did a good job by speeding up their game. But now the gambling that goes with it, you can gamble as the game's going on. So I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but it's pretty bizarre from when we grew up to where it is today.
Yeah, but things, if you've read any books on this, which I have, things do go full circle. We can't put a clock on it, but eventually they do. And it's come back around to you got to win to fill the barn. I love that because for a generation, look, Cowboys, Leafs, whatever, they were full no matter what. And that's not happened. Dolphins too, right? Oh, and by the way, did you see this? That the Panthers gave me this nice gift and said, thanks for all you do. Nobody ever gives me anything. So I was just so happy. I got to keep throwing that in there. By the way, for fun, the Chiefs are going to miss the playoffs. Is this a trend or a one-off? And I'm not talking Cardinal Gibbons. I'm talking Kansas City.
Hey, we got to the Final Four this year with a pretty tough division. So I was proud of that. But I don't think if you can ever count out Patrick Mahomes when he comes back, and he'll come back bigger and badder than he was before he got hurt. But that you can tell that's an aging team, and they're going to have to kind of revamp it a little bit and get the right pieces around them. And sometimes, you just think Patrick Mahomes is going to just make so many big plays to cover up your imperfections. And, Kelsey is aged out. You can tell he's not the same player he was 2 years ago. And he needs to call it a day and go start a company with his girlfriend.
Well, that's the thing is 32 teams, you all have the same salary cap. So how are you going to manage it? It's who knows? Like this, you know me, I'm a pretty literal guy. Like the other night at the Panthers game, guy leans over in the press box and says, are the Buccaneers going to win the NFC South? I'm like, well, I'd like to answer your question, but I don't know. Baker throws that late pick yesterday and they lose, but it's not all on him. Like, is there too much pressure on the quarterback? They're all dumping on Baker. He got them the lead in the game. The defense couldn't hold. Coach, like, you're an offensive guy. Is there too much pressure on these quarterbacks right now because of their wage?
I mean, listen, that's probably the most coveted position in all of sports. Maybe, the goaltender, if you get the hot goaltender, but the quarterback, and, the pitcher in baseball only goes out once out of every 5 days. So your ace. So, I mean, your quarterback's playing every week, and you devise everything around him. He's another coach on the field. He's going to put you into better plays. He's got to manage the clock. I mean, he's got to call the protections. I look at these coaches with their call sheets, and, they speak for, a good 7 or 8 seconds before the quarterback can even spew it out to the guys in the huddle. And I know it's called pro football, but when there's 85,000 people screaming and yelling, and you just got hit by a linebacker on a blitz, you got to get up and now do your job. And it's tough. And that's why I say to Edmonton, God bless you for bringing back Cody, because you don't get Codys all the time. Cody, he made his mistakes. Now he's like a fine wine. He just keeps getting better with age until age you get aged out, and that happens to everybody.
Yeah. Well, I know you're a huge fan of Trevor Harris. Like, I guess we sit here, I know we would be remiss if we didn't talk about our beloved Canadian Football League in this appearance. Trevor Harris is going to be 40 May 30th or 31st. So there is something to be said for experience, especially at that position.
Well, if I win the Powerball this week, I'm going to buy me a team, and I'm going to hire Trevor Harris to be my coach, because I just watched that guy work the sideline. He's already coaching. Like, that guy's coaching while he's playing. That's why they won the Grey Cup, because the players around him respect him. I don't know what happened in Miami with Tua, but I think they had some bad pieces in that locker room, and I think he's lost all his confidence, because he physically doesn't look the same player that he did 2 years ago. And sometimes knowing when to leave is the best virtue in life, right? And it's for him, he's got to go. He's got to go, and maybe he's not done.
You can see it. You can see it in his body language. So anyways, and for those that don't know, for the U.S. viewers. Matt's talking about the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and their quarterback, their 40-year-old quarterback, Trevor Harris. And yeah, he's a coach on the field. But I guess my point on the pressure on the quarterbacks is if the Buccaneers don't win the NFC South, they won't make the playoffs, and everybody's going to blame Baker. And I'm asking you if that's fair. He hasn't had his best year, but they've had injuries. They've had a bad defense,
No, it's not fair at all. But that comes with the millions and millions and millions of dollars you make. So every time like one of these guys get fired, I don't feel bad for the head coach because he gets a balloon payout. I feel bad for the staff, for the people that work in the organization. That's what I feel bad for. So I don't feel bad for Baker Mayfield taking a lot of criticism. He's going to get his same paycheck. And if Baker Mayfield became a free agent at the end of the season, he would be one of the top free agents, and I'd take him at the Miami Dolphins right now because the guy is just a competitor. Like, play some defense behind him and let him do his thing. And he's not perfect, but he's certainly in the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL.
Well, now we've triggered something here, and we're going to have to go in a few minutes. But Jim Barker, your media person of the year, who you voted for, said that the pressure isn't there for the big-time coaches because the paycheck's so large. And I mean, I have a tough time believing that. You didn't get to where you are by having that attitude, yet who am I? I never coached. And you are one of these big-time coaches. Is that a thing? The pressure isn't all that because you're going to never have to work again if you get fired?
Well, I don't have that type of paycheck. So I won my 100th game this year in 10 years, and that was a milestone for me. Mm-hmm. But I put an enormous amount of pressure on myself because winning to me is, and doing it the right way. But if I'm going to be in my job, in my business, I'm doing everything in my power to win. If they tell me, listen, we're going to go in another direction next year, I would have plenty of opportunities to go to other places, just like these other coaches have plenty of opportunities to be recycled and go somewhere else.
Yeah, well, it's just, again, I respect Jim so much. I love him. But I'm like, I see these coaches on the sidelines, and they look very stressed. They are. How could you not be?
I think the profession, unfortunately, is just so driven by your time away from your family. You're in the building, who's going to support you, who's going to stab you in the back. This business doesn't have a lot of loyalty in it. So I think you're always under the microscope. Player gets in trouble, it's your fault. The coordinator makes a bad call, falls on you. You got to get rid of this guy. So it is not and again, if I end my career now, I would go somewhere and be offensive coordinator. I don't know if I'd ever want to be a head coach again. I mean, honestly, it sounds good to talk to people about, I'm the head coach. It's a terrible job, to be honest with you.
Well, I know. Hey, but Mark Trestman's sitting over there in Naples, and I was on the phone with him. I'm like, well, Mark, would you say that you're retired? He's like, I'll never say I'm retired. Because he's 69, got more money than God, but you never know when that next call is going to come. I'm like, just enjoy the golf, Mark. Just enjoy the golf. And Matt, you enjoy the travels, safe travels. I'll be watching the Rate Bowl. Thanks for this, man. Merry Christmas. Thanks for all you do for me.
Merry Christmas. Go get a Powerball ticket. Let's buy a team.
We'll buy a team together. All right. You can name it. Matt DuBuc from Cardinal Gibbons High School, 3 times Florida State champion, CFL alum. He's won everywhere he's been, but especially here on this show. Sports update coming up next, and viewer takeover. You're watching on the Silver State Sports Entertainment Network, Mission Radio.